This is the pinnacle of V8 supercars, the Ferrari 458 Speciale. In times to come, it will represent the end of an era that will be known as a golden age for Ferrari fans everywhere. But while some are stuck clinging to the past, Ferrari is looking into the future with this, the 488 GTB. It does everything that does, but a little bit better. It was in 1982 that Ferrari released its first ever road-going turbo car, the 208 GTS Turbo. Since then, the brand has had an on and off fling with forced induction, but it wasn't until this, the 488, that it became obvious where the brand's future lay. From the outside, it's quite obvious that the 488 is based on the 458. However, a lot of what you see here is actually new. Even so, both of these cars are still very striking in their appearance, with the 458 having aged gracefully since its debut in 2009. Now, the turbo car takes all the design elements of its naturally aspirated predecessor one step further, and that's most evident in these air vents that feed the new V8 engine. Before we leave the past behind though, I want you to have one last listen to that glorious 4.5 litre V8. That seriously sounds like a V8 era Formula 1 car. It is utterly epic. But just like the pinnacle of racing has moved on, so shall we. I initially jumped in this car expecting not to like it all that much. I imagined there'd be turbo lag and inconsistent pedal feel, but I gotta tell you, there's nothing of the sort. According to Maranello, it takes just 800 milliseconds for the 488's accelerator to respond from as little as 2000 RPM, while the entire transmission and variable torque management system has been tuned to provide a fat and flat torque band available across the entire rev range. But all that technical garbage aside, this thing is just fast. I mean, this isn't just your regular supercar. My God, it's borderlining hypercar territory. The 3.9 litre turbocharged V8 behind me has got 492 kilowatts of power and 760 newton-meters of torque. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's almost 5 times as much power as a Toyota Corolla. And this thing weighs just 200 kilograms more, giving it an insane power-to-weight ratio. That means it'll do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3 seconds flat, and hit 200 kilometers an hour in another 5 and a bit seconds. Around these twisty roads, this is about as fast as any sane man would ever want to go. Despite being rear-wheel drive, the balance and pose of this car is utterly out of this world. This is the sort of car that has far more capability than the majority of its potential owners, the same of which can't be said of its direct Italian rival. The thing about driving this Ferrari fast is that the rear-wheel drive nature makes it a little bit unpredictable. You see, I'm basically going flat out here, and I'm not sure if the car has more to give or if the limitation is completely up to me. But it's just so fast, and the brakes are so good that you can take the corners a lot faster than you really think you could. And for that reason, you gotta love this thing. It really brings out the best in every driver. So, there's no doubting its performance both in a straight line or around corners. This is definitely the best driver's car Ferrari has ever built. But does it sound as good as the 458? Have a listen for yourself. There's only so much Italian magic engineers can do to make a turbo sound, well, I suppose not like a turbo. But on the whole, it's not that the 488 sounds bad, not at all. Actually, it sounds rather good. But it's just that, well, it doesn't scream like a Ferrari should. This car has more power and more torque than anything else in its class. But at some point, someone has to ask, is that all there is to it? Surely, the way an engine makes its power, its character, or its soul, should be just as important as the cold hard facts. For as far as I could remember, Ferrari's engines have all been about that sense of drama and urgency as you go through the rev range. For me, listening to a Ferrari go past is akin to being privy to a festival of automotive sound. You see, Ferrari engines love to rev, which is why we all love Ferrari so much. Don't get me wrong, the 488 also loves to rev, but it is a little bit different. Really though, it just doesn't matter as much as you think it does. The 488 is the best supercar in its class. It's much better than the 458, and what makes it so good is that glorious turbocharged V8 behind me. Until the dark days of a full electric Ferrari, this is the future. And while it may not sound as good, it does everything else better. And I can get used to that.